We recently ordered some shades from the shade store and we really like them. But when we placed the order and got the quote, they quoted us $750 to have the shades installed. I thought that was a little steep. So today we're gonna go through and we're gonna install these 4 shades that we ordered and see how hard it is to save $750 installing the shades. Hanging the shade is pretty simple. We're just gonna use these brackets and attach them to the wall. What I've done to make it easy is for each of the windows when I've installed it, I've done a line under crown molding that's 2 inches and 3/4 below. So that's where I've shot my line out. The shade has like a 3/4 inch piece of wood that it uses. So we're gonna attach these brackets along the laser. And then when we set the shade on top and mount it to the brackets, it'll be 2 inches below the crown molding. Now, the first thing you have to do, which you can see down here, is there are there's some hardware attached to this board. So we have to go and measure out and decide how are we going to space these so that the bracket sits in between one of these open spots. So we wouldn't want the bracket to be here where there's hardware or at the ends. One thing I like to do to lay that out and make it easier when transferring the marks is just use some painter's tape, put some painter's tape where I've decided to screw it in. And then also we need to figure out how long this shade is. So this shade is roughly the same width as the opening here between the bookcases, but you want to figure out how long this is versus your window so that you have it centered and it looks nice after it's installed. So let's get started. We have a total of 4 brackets that we have to space out. So we'll just avoid this area because there's a lot going on there. Avoid this metal part here. So I'll probably target one roughly there, and then another one right here. There's nothing there. And also I have this oriented so it's the same way that it's gonna be hanging. That makes it a little easier to lay this out. Maybe like another bracket there, another bracket roughly here. Doesn't have to be an exact science. You just don't want to have it where you hit one of these brackets. Now I'll transfer the marks to the wall. I've always found just be really safe and simple and don't overthink things and measure stuff. Try to just transfer stuff as much as possible. Put one here at the 14 mark. So now we just transfer over the rest of the spots where the brackets will be installed. Now go through and install the brackets, screwing them in where the top just touches the laser mark. So now let's hang this up. When it's sitting there, then we'll come back and we'll screw it all in. That sits. That wasn't too bad. Now all we need to do is you can install this. I'm not going to, just to reduce the risk of someone pulling on it and hanging on it or a kid getting hurt, and then height it up here. And if we want to raise or lower the blinds, we can just do that manually. Let's just poke on a little bit and then hide this up. There we go. All done and installed. We saved about $250, and I don't know how long the video's been going. Not too long. We'll see. I'll look at the recording and see how long it took, but pretty easy way to save $250, $240 I think it was or so, and then you multiply that by 4.